Boxing on the edge.
Okay, welcome back to Boxing on the Edge. This is my first fight prediction / breakdown video for the big fight this weekend. Canelo Alvarez takes on Caleb Plant for the undisputed championship. It'll be the first time in boxing history, hopefully we don't get a draw, first time in boxing history that this title will be given to somebody, the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. Great fight. Canelo also will be the first Mexican in history to hold that title and first Latin American fighter, should he be victorious. So a lot on the line. Great fight, very interesting fight. I've been saying to myself all week, I'm like, okay, how does Plant win this fight? Because I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I'd be very surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked because he does have the tools. He does have the necessary skills, the necessary footwork. You know, he's got a few things going for him with regards to what has caused Canelo issues in the past, and we all know this, right? He's always struggled's a strong word because Mayweather is Mayweather, obviously, but Lara. He had the fast feet, he had the IQ, he had the stamina too. To keep that up for as long as he did was actually quite impressive because he was on the run. Let's be honest. He was on the run for a lot in that fight, if not all of it. But Plant has similar attributes, you know. I think it'll fall somewhere in between like the Lara and Billy Joe fight, because I think Plant's got slightly faster feet. Billy Joe's got good footwork, but it's a little bit more I don't want to say flat-footed, but more flat-footed than Plant's. It's not flat-footed, it's just he's a bit more cumbersome with it, whereas Plant is a bit more elegant with his footwork, similar to Lara. He's also got extremely fast hands, Plant does, and he's extremely handy when it comes to throwing off combination punches with the same hand especially. He'll throw an occasional right hand in there too, but he can let off that left hand very impressively and in an unorthodox way where he'll shoot a shot to the head, shot to the body, shoot an uppercut too. And maybe following them with the right hand. I've seen him do it in sparring. I've seen him do it in several fights, particularly after the Uzcategui fight. So, you know, how's he going to win it? How's Plant going to beat Canelo? Like, is he really going to be given rounds that are close? Maybe 1 or 2, but is he going to win 7 decisive, clear rounds? He's got his work cut out, to be honest. You know, he could get a rhythm, and he's going to have to get in there early, get some momentum going, build his confidence up, get used to the stage, and let off some of those combinations, because I think that could be the key to winning some rounds. If they're close rounds and then he can step forward and reel off these combos, they're very eye-catching, you know, especially if he lands that uppercut. And he ends up pushing his opponent back, and he'll just let these shots go. And he's always thinking about what's coming back too, which is very impressive, especially after you unload a combination. That being said, when you're reeling off 4 or 5 punches, there's time for a counter punch, so he's got to be careful. But if he can do that and get those combinations off, and I don't know if Canelo's seen that kind of speed with those kind of combinations before. Perhaps he has, but I think he's going to be surprised by Plant's speed with his hands. So in my opinion, Plant has to keep on his bike. He has to, you know, he has to box and that tightrope for 12 rounds. He has to keep that jab going, keep thinking, keep moving, and then when the time's there and the opportunity's there, let his hands go with those combinations and make it count, you know, because he's in the Uzcategui fight. Something that actually worried me quite a bit going into this fight is he came out great and he was winning a lot of rounds early, if not most of them. And he dropped Uzcategui twice, but he did tire. And when he tires, he obviously he gets caught fighting on the inside, which he's actually not bad at, to be honest. But Uzcategui's not a particularly creatively good inside fighter. So they kind of cancelled each other out in that from what I saw. But Canelo, he'll have the advantage with his low center of gravity, his shorter arms, and his just his general experience and just his general skill set and talent. You don't want to get caught fighting on the inside with the Canelo if you're a little bit tired or even at all, really. Something interesting to know, Plant is actually quite physically strong. I think how strong he is, I don't know, but have you seen him do that almost like side handstand on the bar where he grabs? It's very impressive. That takes a lot of strength. Now, what does that really mean in a boxing match? If he's in the grapples and he can actually just hold his ground a little bit, it might help him a bit. But he doesn't want to start trading or not, get into an inside fight with Canelo. Not at all. But if he can impose some kind of physicality, if he does get a bit tired, I think Plant could surprise Canelo with his inside strength, because Andre Ward actually alluded to it as well. And I know Ward is on his team, so he's going to say stuff like that. But it was interesting, and you see Plant's back muscles, they're pretty defined. So is he going to be stronger than Canelo on the inside? Maybe. I know it sounds a bit mad, but I'd be interested to see just how strong Plant is and who the bigger guy is. Plant's obviously fought at a much higher weight for longer, but then Canelo's just a beast, isn't he? It'll be a bull and the matador style of a fight for sure. And I always do enjoy those, but we don't really want to see a Lara fight, do we? I don't know. I don't. I like a bull and a matador, but I like a bit of explosion in between. I think Plant could do that. I think he could do that with those combinations, like I mentioned. So, tightrope for Caleb Plant. He's got to come in the best shape of his life. I think he probably will. He's extremely confident. He's been through a lot in his life, and you can see that in his eyes when he's fighting guys like the stare out or the face off that he had with Uzcategui was one of the most intense ones I've seen in a long time. It was like, okay, he means business, and he's always been a professional. He's always been very dedicated. He's always been in the gym, and I think that served him well. So will it be enough on Saturday? I don't know. In terms of Canelo, well, he's just getting better and better, isn't he? I mean, it's hard to pick out that many flaws in his game. What's he going to do? He's probably going to attack Plant's body. He's going to walk him down, casually walk him down, and slowly try and get his timing together. Like he's one or two shots usually doesn't work against a pure boxer, and Plant is a pure boxer. Like I believe he is. He tries to practice the hit and not get hit, and that is what boxing is. So if you can not just try to practice it, he does do that. He tries to hit the opponent and he doesn't try to take any punishment, and that is the essence of boxing. So Canelo's going to have to be a little more cute with his setups, for example, he's an amazing fighter when it comes to setting up those punches too, like he did with Amir Khan. He does it subtly as well with a lot of other fighters that you won't see initially. But Khan's the main example where he threw the decoy shot and banged him out with that overhand right. very impressive. He probably will try to do that. Plant, we know he's got the shoulder roll a little bit. It's not really a Philly shell, but he does leave that left hand very low. It is kind of a Philly shell a little bit, but he switches it around a bit. But he does have that left hand very low, which obviously an overhand right is crying out for. But if Canelo tries to set it up with the jab, I can see him seeing that. So I think Canelo's best opportunities are to like mid-late round or mid rounds after his, the fight's getting in there. Plant starts to wear out a little bit because he's going to make him move a lot. I can see Plant winning a lot of early rounds, and then as he tires out, I think Canelo's going to constantly target the body, wear him down, break him down, and then probably end up hurting him and getting him out there in the late rounds. I'd say probably 9 or 10. I know there's a lot of people that have said that too, and I'm not just saying that because of that, but if you look at the dynamics of it and how he did Plant struggle a little bit against Uzcategui in the mid rounds. When I say struggle, I just mean like he just, his game plan changed completely, and he definitely had a cut in his eye, but he looked far more anxious for far too long and more concerned than you like to see on any fighter for that long. So Canelo, yeah, I can see Canelo getting a stoppage, 9 or 10, maybe even 11. But he's going to try to break him down as he does with everybody. I think we could have some a couple of rounds where it's like the Matrix, where the scene where like what's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. Neo and Morpheus are fighting, and everyone's just hitting air. I think we could see a little bit of that because they're both supremely great at defense, especially Canelo. I mean, his head movement's outrageous. So there could be a couple of high skill rounds, and then the mid rounds will be interesting. We'll see how Plant has adjusted, if he can get his confidence going, and then it'll be like, like to give an analogy, it'll be like a video game boss. When you get to the end, like a Super Mario, and you get to the end boss, and it's the first time you've been there, and you don't really know what to do, you don't really know what this boss is like, and the boss has been there forever, and you do all right here and there, and then ultimately the boss has had far more experience than you, and takes you out. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be an exciting spectacle. Should be a high skill performance from both guys, and then we'll see what happens in the mid rounds when it gets heated up a little bit, because I do think Plant will come out and win some early rounds, and that's quite a common statement, I know, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So let me know what you think. If you have any opinions, shoot it in the comments. I'm also doing a music preview video, which I'm working on this week, when I'll have that out, hopefully on Friday, just to get the excitement levels up if they needed getting up anymore. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Have a great week, all right? Be well.